Sure that I'm prepared like you are.
You got your style and I got my style.
My
This is a little
complete
more
lack of
casual.
style or deep style. I'm not sure if I would be that generous. So, guys, glad to be back. How many of you, I don't know, did you guys talk about this last week? I don't want to cover everything. How many of you recognize that LinkedIn is for sure a platform that your target audience is on? Who can speak to that? Okay, how many of you are business to business, or at least a segment of business to business? How many of you are completely, that's your audience, they are business owners, okay? Okay, so what in my experience, the natural tendency is to spend a lot more time on Facebook because it's relational, it's fun, it's dynamic, it's very visual, many things that LinkedIn is not. And LinkedIn, maybe they fix it, maybe they don't. However, what I have discovered is even though I'll spend 1/10 of the time in many cases on LinkedIn, I get more direct closed business from LinkedIn than any other platform I use. My audience is business owners who need to improve their online presence. So I'm not unlike many of you. LinkedIn probably should be our #1 for business to business. It should be the one that we understand the most and we know how to get the most traction out of. And it, like many platforms, it's a moving target. As in some cases groups begin to wane in interactivity, it picks up elsewhere on the platform. I still am connected to 2 or 3 Tucson groups that are still pretty dynamic, and it's probably they have a good moderator maybe that puts a good nod on somebody's head when they get spammy, however that works. But the dynamic is still there in that when I use it to, for instance, talk about these classes, I don't do it every week, I don't do it all the time, I'll hit it about every 2 to 3 weeks. I'll put the event out from wherever we created originally, and I'll push it out to groups, and inevitably, almost every time I get connectivity off of that. Or if I'm teaching somebody somewhere else at an event or whatever, when I push those out, I almost always get somebody responding directly in most cases. They're messaging me, they're asking questions, they're engaging. So again, that immediate potential closed deal, closed sale is happening a lot faster on the LinkedIn platform than it is, for instance, on Facebook, where we spend the majority of our time. So I know it's fun, and I know it's more visually stimulating and all of those things. However, business is done on LinkedIn, and that's where you'll connect to a lot of other businesses. So let's switch out here. And yeah, let's just continue running that script and go to LinkedIn. So I'll pull up our list, and again, if you're a smart member, you've got the document there. We'll bounce through those, and again, as you have questions, stop me, and if we get stuck somewhere, if it's not something I can answer quick and easy, I'll get you an answer and then we'll talk about it later. But we'll go through profile and some of the other pieces that we missed last week. Yes, ma'am.
We did cover profile and groups.
Right. So I'm going to jump down to company page is where I'm going to start.
Yeah.
So how many of you have multiple companies that you're in process with? Okay, so you may need to add more than one. But one of the ways to tell if your profile has been connected to a company is when you go to profile and then click on view profile, and it comes up here. If you notice, each one of my job listings has a little, looks like a sheet of paper with a star on the corner. And when you mouse over it, that business comes up. So Online Biz Smarts I added last night. Just walking through this and reminding myself how to do it. And so here, and again here. If you don't see that little sheet of paper, then that business, you're not actually connected to that business profile on LinkedIn yet. So there's a couple of things. First is creating that business. It may not be that that business has been created on LinkedIn. So you may need to go to this link, and why it's make you sign in again, and add a company. So if you have a new company, a startup, or nobody has added your company yet, you want to come to this link, and we'll share that. I'm sorry?
How did you get that?
I had it on my the Excel sheet there, but I'll put it out on the group page for everybody to use. But it's LinkedIn company add show. So we're going to add a new company, and so you need two things to add a company: name of a company, and you need an email that is you at your company. So it's Mike at onlinebizsmarts.com is what I needed to utilize here to create a business profile on LinkedIn. Does that make sense?
Can my name not be Susan at?
It can be info at, it can be, the important part, it's at the company name. Yeah. So it's important to have that. Again, that's a whole nother class, but it's imperative in order to create a business profile on LinkedIn.
And when you say this, that's the company name. So, yeah, it would have to match exactly because it's the same domain.
Yeah, they're looking that you literally have the authority to create that company profile in the name of the company.
I don't have to put Long Realty, do I? Can I put my own name?
It can be. So for instance, Sherry, for you, your other URL that you own, it could be Sherry at Home Loans, TucsonHomes.com.
Yeah.
So that would be something that you can create. And again, so that you have Sherry at TucsonHomes.com. Again, it's your choice. If it were me, and for instance for you, Sherry, I would connect to the one that's already created for Long, but then I would also come back and create another one for my private brand page so that I'm getting some traffic to that page. Does that make sense? So I'm Mike at Tucson Shoes. So I'm beginning to sell shoes. I'm going to create that URL. I'm going to have a website for it, and I'm going to have that Mike at Tucson Shoes to come in here and create a business profile to drive traffic to that website.
We have a company name, obviously, and email address is attached to that. But we're in the process of setting up a DBA, which probably will have its own URL, and so I'll have my own email address with the DBA. Should I use both?
Well, that's kind of where I'm suggesting is within LinkedIn, because it's so searchable, it's extremely searchable. When you search what you do as a company, in many cases that LinkedIn profile will come up before your website and other places. So you want people to have opportunities to find you. I would suggest maybe to go ahead and create that other DBA so that, again, the brand, the website, whatever you're creating is getting out there.
So, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Unless you have 100 DBAs, and then that would be very schizophrenic at that point. But again, you want to clearly identify your branding on LinkedIn. So I'm going to jump back. So the other thing to note is then what you're able to do is you can click on that little page on your profile, and it's going to take you to the little brief piece that is identifying who that company is, and then right over here to the right, click on Edit, and that's where you get to go in and add all the juicy details. That's where you really build out your business profile on LinkedIn. Okay. So you're going to put your website, you're going to put what you do as a company, and there may not be a category that fits you exactly. Get close, find what you can, and the address, And any other information